Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 20th August 2016. The first article is related to the United States and Russia relations, how they are going to change after the new president comes into power, and what will be its impact on India. You know that Hillary Clinton, when she was the Secretary of the State, there was resetting of India-Russia, that is US-Russia relations. Now, though it did not take a smooth ride, though the Republican candidate, Mr. Donald Trump, he is talking about making the Russia as an ally in fight against Islamic terrorism. So, it means in US, the dialogue is on two fronts. One is, there are two threats to the United States. One is from Russia, the other one is from Islamic terrorism. So the Republican candidate is trying to highlight the Islamic terrorism. The Democratic candidate, she is talking about Russia. So here, the NATO and the configuration of the NATO is bound to change. The reason being is, the NATO, that is United States European Alliance or allies, they are facing a heat. They are facing it from on Russia, and also they are facing it from the south. After the Brexit, the most trusted ally of US, she will be out of European Union. And in those circumstances, the US influence in the NATO is bound to come down. Added to that, the Republican candidates also demanding for the Europe to pay the United States of America for the security it is offering for. So, he also has declared NATO to be irrelevant. So in these circumstances, the existence of NATO and the challenges to NATO are coming into question. Recently, NATO also has declared a separate division to fight against the terror. So in this scenario, obviously the NATO's traditional strategy to counter the Russia is about strength and dialogue. Anywhere in diplomacy, the strength and dialogue both function simultaneously. So in this scenario, so the strength and dialogue maintains the balance of United States relations with Russia. So there will not be much change into this. So as Islamic terrorism is becoming new issue of discussion between the major powers, and America is seeing Russia as an ally in this, and as India is also a victim of terrorism, and India being the friend of Russia for long, so India's relationship with the both countries, that is US and Russia, can change after these elections. That's what the article talks about. Now coming to Ms. P.V. Sindhu, she has won the silver in Rio Olympics. So Sindhu, she has lost to the top seed, Miss Carolina Marin, a Spanish national, the gold medal. So, however, it is the first silver medal for a woman in badminton in India. Coming to e-governance, you know that the digital divide is a major problem in India. The rural-urban divide, data divide, is manifesting as a developmental divide. So, in this context, the Asia-Pacific, among these countries, India stands in 39th position with regard to the broadband network, that is fixed broadband network that is available to the people. So it is below the Bhutan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. So in this context, filling the network divide is the utmost urgency for India. If you take the 2016 World Development Report, it is called as digital dividends. What this report says is, so what are the dividends we can get if we bring in the proper networks? One is jobs, opportunities, and economic growth. These can be achieved if proper digital networks are being maintained across the country. Now, innovation landscape across India. So, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, what she talks about is this. India's position in Global Innovation Index has increased by 15 positions, and now it stands at 6th rank. But however, Indian innovation is famously called as Jugaad. That is called a frugal innovation. Now what is required is, we need to leap a step forward and we have to opt for the knowledge excellence. So but the government, it is going to bring in an innovation ecosystem, and a committee will be appointed in this context to see where the government shall not intervene for the innovation to freely occur in the country. That's what is Nirmala Sitharaman is offering. Now coming to Arunachal Pradesh. You know that on the eastern front, China claims the Tawang territory and it calls it as the Lower Tibet. The Minister of State for Home, Mr. Kiran Rijiju, what he said is, recently China has transgressed the line of actual control in the Arunachal Pradesh twice. So above all, remember one word that is called forward deployment capability. Now India, in its policy to improve the forward deployment capability, it is building advanced landing grounds, ALGs, in Arunachal Pradesh. It is building 8 advanced landing grounds. It means India is trying to balance China with regard to the broader infrastructure. Coming to judicial appointments, now Centre likes to clarify that there is no delay from its side with regard to judicial appointments. As you know that Chief Justice of India T.S. Thakur has recently indicted the government that the non-decisions of the or lack of decisions from the government side and the delay in the appointment of the judges, it is bringing the judicial work to a grinding halt. So in this scenario, what the government says is the NJAC was passed by the parliament and also by the 20 states and it has converted into an act. Now, the new appointment process was initiated under NJAC Act. The matter went sub judice and the bench headed by T.S. Thakur, headed by Mr. Kehar, so it has declared NJAC as unconstitutional and it has brought in the old collegium system. But however, it has asked for a review of the procedure and suggestions in this regard. So based on the suggestions that have come up, it has recommended the government to frame the new memorandum of procedure. So the government is in the process of making this memorandum of procedure in accordance with the suggestions given by the bench. And it wants to make the procedure to appoint the judges through collegium more transparent and broad-based. So that's what is the government is trying to do. It was the explanation from the government. Coming to food inflation. Now, you know that the inflation target is around 6% for this year, and it is to the 4% in the next coming years. In this context, almost we are close to the 6%, that is almost 5.77% high normal in the recent inflation data. So the major reason for this is the food inflation. Now, what it is being expected is, as monsoons are going to be normal, the food inflation is going to come down. But there is, again, a challenge over here. As monsoons become normal, the rural demand also goes up. As the demand is created, the prices also increases. The second thing is, 7th Pay Commission recommendations, 1 rank, 1 pension, 1 pay. So when this comes up, more demand or consumer demand will be created. Probably it will further take the inflation forward. So we need to be careful about the inflation expectations. So these are the articles for today. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Gopichand, Pulel Gopichand, who trained PV Sindhu, he was, he is my friend. And I can say that he kept all his effort and his academy in Hyderabad is his life. So that spirit of training the people, he gave to the country Saina Nehwal and also now PV Sindhu. And I know at least some 10 to 12 people who are as bright as them, they are coming up in the institute now, the academy now. Probably India is going to see more Olympic medals in the badminton thanks to Pulel Gopichand. Thank you very much.